Traveling to Dorado.
I just realized
Ready for battle.
I don't think I have done a Junkrat VOD review. No, that's not true. Sorry, I haven't done a Junkrat VOD review since, like, April, May? One of, shit, Nick. It might have been Nick's team. Somebody had a Junkrat, like, Junkrat Farah 2 trick. But otherwise, like, I never get to review Junks. This is gonna be fun. I'm going to laugh if I see anyone I know in this code. Alright, there you are.
Attackers incoming in 30.
Cool.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm just gonna watch the first little bit.
And
we'll start talking. Oh, yep, Raiden. Yep. Raiden was kind of a trip because he was cracked on the rat, but also a hard feeder. Like, if you just lived more, you would not be Diamond, dude. Okay. So, you're hard fragging, you're doing a lot of damage, that's all good. But you're doing it in, like, one of the scariest, most dangerous ways possible. So, first off, your grenades bounce. So you don't even have to necessarily see the enemy, you just gotta peek them periodically so you know where they're at. But also, you're in front of your tanks and your entire team. You are front-lining as Junkrat. And the fact that you survived that is only because of this elo. Like, literally any higher than this, and you're dead off cooldown by being in front of your tanks like that, Junkrat is just way too fragile. You do a shit ton of damage, and like I said, you're wrecking them right now. They just don't know what to do about you. But they could have so easily killed you instead if they didn't panic. I would look to, since they were all low ground anyway, and they should have been high ground, but they weren't, you can take this for free and it would be safe. You can't come up here normally because you'll just get shot in the face and die. But you could have come up here, bounce some nades around, throw a mine, and then the choke, you just start shooting the side of the choke and bounce your nades all through it, and now they can't stand in here. And anyone outside of it versus inside of it, like, you can cut them in half, or you just prevent people from being able to get out or being able to push in. Like, you create a little no man's land. Yeah? Now that, if they were holding that high ground, you got a couple of options. You can just play low ground and find angles to spam them out. But when the big thing with your spam is you are always looking to bounce it off something. You don't want to try to shoot somebody direct, especially not long distance, just because it's never going to land. Your projectile is too slow, it's too easy for them to dodge. But if you bounce them into a small area, then there's nowhere they can go. You land a lot more. So shoot your grenade somewhere where they'll bounce around where the enemy is. You could also, like, roll out up here. That can be kind of scary, but sometimes it's really strong. Once you clear the choke, or when you're trying to clear the choke, if you can get up here, this is strong. And then, like now, I would be looking to off angle. I would come over here. You got to be careful about the Farah, but you could play back here with cover, and anyone who starts to push in on your team, you're spamming out. Another option would be to mine jump into here, drop a trap right there, and then, you know, bounce your nades around here. When they start to push through, or if anyone starts to come from there, you just GTFO. If they chase you, they have to break your trap, or they get trapped. And then as one other option, you could come out this side, this outer lane. You got a corner here, and this is actually probably the one I would choose in this particular moment, because all their respawns are likely coming through here, and this is like just a nice narrow lane that you can spam down that they're all going to be running in. So right now, this, I think, would be a really strong angle for the recontest, and this is where I would go. But, like, that's how you should think about your positioning on Junkrat. You're looking to take angles on them where it's hard, if not impossible, for them to dodge your spam, and you yourself are super safe. And then you just spam them down. The other style of going for the one shot, where you like land the mine grenade combo, you don't want to be doing that face first. That you would like, you know, you're spamming, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have walked in or you've killed recently. That means, you know, the 6th person is coming back from spawn and there's someone you think you can kill, so you like sneak up, and as they walk around the corner, you land the one shot. You have to be sneaky with those. You have to come from above and drop on them, use the mine to jump back up to the high ground. That can be nice. Just come from behind or from the side. If they don't see you coming, it's so free. It's so easy if they just don't know you're there. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Nice. Cool. And now again, I would be looking to mine jump on. Probably mine jump onto a high ground. There is something unique about Junkrat, though, that makes high grounds kind of bad for him in a lot of ways. And that is, if you're shooting at too steep of an angle downwards, your grenades just sort of bounce up and down, and it's way easier to dodge them. They don't hit as much as if they're like traveling more horizontally and bouncing more horizontally. Yeah? When you are spamming an angle, and that's your goal, is to just spam an angle, you want to play as far back from that angle as you can, and probably low ground spamming it. Yeah? Show you a notable exception on the third point. If you're going for a pick, then you go to a high ground because it's safe. You can see what's going on. Choose your target. Drop on them. Grenade, mine. The mine gets you back up to this high ground. We good. We roll back out to our team, however we're going to do it, and we go back to spamming an angle. Then we see an opportunity, and we do it again. Boop. Like 7 tires he had this game. Nice. Oh, hey, Powder Ski. Netflix, are you in this one too? Oh, yeah, you are. You're the Pharah. Good shit. Pharah Junkrat. It has some inherent weaknesses, but if the enemy team doesn't exploit those, holy crap, is it just a broken amount of damage. Fun fact, if you throw a mine through window, or if Mercy damage boosts a mine, bongo, nano, whatever, anything that provides a damage boost, once it's applied to the mine, it stays on that particular mine forever. So you could throw it through window, leave it there for a minute, and then a minute later detonate it, and it's going to do 240 damage instead of 120. Not that, like, there's the most use case for that, but sometimes it's good to know. You can throw out the map. Oh my god. The trap mine combo somewhere where you think they're gonna walk and throw the mine through the window, or ask your Mercy to damage boost the mine or something. It's not something you want to tunnel on because, like, there are better things, but. Whoop. Tell you a trick for countering the other Junkrat's tire in a second, but yeah, again, main, left, right. If you generally speaking don't want to be here at all, but if you are, you're way towards the back, and it's so much better for you to be on the side instead, taking an angle. I don't know how this was a loss either so far. Before I forget, when I was talking about, spamming from high ground is often bad, there's exceptions all over the place like this, where, like, if you're up on this high ground, you shoot your mines kind of like up on this, like off of this wall, and that causes them to bounce down behind this thing and just bounce around in here, and it's a small enough area that it's actually kind of hell for them. So you can bounce them high and drop them down like that in some places. And then the trick for countering the rip tire. You have to kind of guess where you think the tire is coming from based on the sound cue and just based on your expectations of this Junkrat. But like, take your best guess where it's coming from and throw your mine on the ground there. And then when the tire rolls over your mine, you detonate the mine, and there goes the tire. If you're like good at the prediction, if you're in that Junkrat's head, it's actually shockingly easy to do. All right. Okay. And now you need to think about effective damage. So, yes, this soldier on the high ground is a problem. He has an angle on your team. You don't want him there. You need to pressure him out or kill him. The problem is, he wins this 1v1 at this range. It's so fucking hard for you to hit him once, let alone twice. You're just wasting ammo, you're not getting anything done, and if he turns to look at you, he can erase you. So you either ignore him and you kill somebody else, you like break the shield, pressure out these tanks while hiding from him and avoiding his damage entirely, or you sneak up, get close, and one-shot him. That's the other option. But don't take long-range duels on Junkrat. Like, you lose this. Yeah, you held that way too long. There was no... So, this isn't uncommon amongst Junkrats. I remember Raiden, the other Junkrat we were talking about earlier. This was also a problem with him, I think. Using your tire to zone people back because it's scary and they're looking for the tire and can be good, but not nearly as often as just killing them. If you have even a single kill, you take it. One ult for one kill is great value. It really is. Solo ult people. Or, like, if you had hit this tire while the BAP was out of his lamp, the Orisa is 1 HP, lamp is broken, and their BAP is dead. Which means the Orisa dies right after, because who's going to heal her? So, like, that would have been perfectly fine. And instead, because you toy around with it too long, they eventually managed to break it. The higher up you climb, the faster you're going to have to be with the detonation if you want to get kills. You'll have to, like, I really liked the coming up and over to surprise them, but you come up, over, you drop to this corner, and you detonate immediately. You just go as fast as you can. Or this corner. Either one. But drop to a corner so it gets, like, 2 angles. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, and then again, there was a Zen there that you might have been able to one-shot or pressure. Oh wait, that was your Zen. No, that's their Zen. He's just right in front of you. Their Zen was playing like he was on your team. I wonder if he got confused. So I like how you've been using trap, but there are way more ways to use it. Trap is one of the biggest brain abilities in this game. It is so strong if you get real smart about it. So You know what, I'm gonna wait till this round finishes, and then I'm gonna talk about trap. I just want to see this fight real good.
Tactical visor activated. He'll let you in my sights.
Fire at will.
Okay. So trap. The first thing that's important to know is trap has a hitbox that is larger than the trap, like than the visual of the trap. And if any part of the enemy's hitbox intersects with any part of the trap hitbox, they get sucked into the trap. Think like a Rhine suction pin. If you've ever seen like the crazy ones where he like barely shoulder taps you and you just go thump. Trap does that. So, if for example, think somebody's going to come through here and I want to trap him, yeah? I don't drop the trap here, they'll see it and break it. I drop the trap on the corner right here, so it's like only a little bit of it is exposed, and that bit that's exposed is kind of behind and intersecting with this. It makes it harder to see, and then as they walk past it, they're in it. Easy. If they walk squeezing up along this side, they won't get sucked in, but like, and this is part of where Big Brain comes in. If you're doing stuff like that, you don't just need to think about what path, but think about what side of that they'd want to hug. Are they going to walk in kind of hugging this wall? Or are they going to walk in trying to take this angle? I think they'll probably walk in and try to take this angle, which means they're going to walk in and trap. Boom. There is a use case, though, for putting the trap here, and that's to slow them down. It's not about actually catching them in the trap. It's about them seeing it and having to stop to break it before they can walk through, and them breaking it being an early warning for you that someone's coming. And you would do that because this is consistent. They can't walk past it, they have to break it. This they could still possibly get past, and so you might not have the early warning. Yeah? I love console just because no one can aim. I abuse that to get to 4K. Oh. I mean, I have seen some pretty cracked console aimers. I cannot aim with thumbsticks for my life, but... Okay. And then otherwise, you want to use trap to close angles. So I talked about like the multiple lanes in this map. You want to put your trap, first off, you want to use it off cooldown, literally. Like when you have it, throw it out somewhere. If it hasn't gotten value for 12 seconds, you probably want to throw it somewhere else anyway. Dang. But use it to watch your back, to close off an angle and make it harder for somebody to push, or if you're being chased. And then like the one that you have been doing is also good, which is in the mid-fight, you throw the trap out randomly onto the battlefield in the mid-fight. Usually it's gonna break, but sometimes it catches people unaware, and that's about the only trap that's gonna get somebody in like a super high elo. Oddly enough, are the ones thrown out in the mid-fight, because they're like so busy they just don't see that one cooldown. Nice structured stream you got there. Would be a shame if someone just jumped you. Nice. I was one of them, played Widow. Rude. Yeah, so like this is... I'm not necessarily saying this is like an angle you would want to play necessarily, but like if you're here and you're worried that you have to look in this direction and tunnel in this direction and somebody might flank around and get you from here, you drop the trap in here. And then, oh, somebody's trapped? Now they're dead. You just peek them real quick and kill them. Or maybe don't even peek them and just bounce the nade off the wall and now they're dead.
Round 1. Complete.
Oh, okay. Cool.
0 to 3.
Finish with 2 minutes on the clock. Cool.
Ready for battle.
the two biggest problems with your attack were not taking, well, sorry, three. Not taking off angles,
Attackers
being way too far forward is actually probably the most important. And you're tired. That was the third one.
This would be a perfect location for a Vishar development.
There we go.
What an interesting
So,
hypothesis.
what's really funny about the trap mine right at the spawn door is there's like an inverse bell curve of when that works based on people's SR. In the low ranks, people aren't observant and they're not used to seeing stuff because they just haven't played the game very much. So you get people in low brackets. As they get smarter and climb more and more and more, you get fewer and fewer. They're expecting it. They look for it. And then when you get to super high elo where no one plays Junkrat, they're not used to it anymore and no one thinks to look for it. And I watch top 500 Junkrats pull this off in like top 500, top 200 games all the fucking time because people just don't expect it anymore. That said, I usually don't go for that one. I like throwing one right here around this corner with a mine, because then if somebody pushes up this angle, you get them. Another option would be since your team is playing low ground, which is scary and bad, you could do that one in case the Rhine pushes up. That'll prevent you from getting flanked. You can also throw one down here. There is an elo below which no one takes this path, and above which it is oftenly taken. If you're a drawing we can't see. Oh no. Wait. Did it not show up before? It looks like it's on the stream. Yeah. Anyway, just because your team is playing scary doesn't mean you need to. If you're here, for example, you're bouncing the nades off of this. You have great cover. No one's going to sneak up on you. You're controlling this choke. And if somebody dives your Ana, you can peel for her and save her ass. And if you need to get out, you just turn around and get out. Easy. So I would probably hold here right now. In games where teams are holding better, I probably wouldn't hold this far forward. But because Ana is here, team is there, I think this is the spot of the moment. Else, I would start here. Where, again, I can control this angle. You can actually spam nades through this gap here and, like, shoot them as they're walking out of spawn a bit. And then... Or, sorry, maybe not there. Maybe this window. Because you want, like, a little bit of a corner right here to bounce in this choke, but while still controlling this, whatever. So you fire off some grenades at the mine, you rotate, or at the door if you want, and then you rotate to this window sort of thing. Oh, my internet died. Oh no! Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the pain.
Oh, so again, like you have your trap cooldown back. Throw it out again. Hell, drop it on this corner, so if somebody pushes into your Rhine, they get trapped right in front of them. Yeah? Do something with it. Literally off cooldown. It is one of the best abilities... I almost want to say in the game. It has so much potential. And like that potential falls off the higher you climb. It's true. So that's why I hesitate to be like one of the most powerful abilities in the game. But in this elo, it really is. It is so many free picks all of the goddamn time. Alright, we're backing up. We're spamming a really good angle, but now there's a Doomfist behind us. we don't turn around or look at him. We're still ignoring him. He's still behind us, punching us. Sim's in it to win it. So Netflix, since you're here too, just as a pro tip on Sim, Symmetra and Mei, and sometimes, but not really as much anymore, Reaper or Kree, but mostly Sim and Mei are the only two DPS in the game that actually want to stand behind Reinhardt. Yeah? Other DPS typically want to be taking some kind of angle so they can shoot people rather than just shooting tanks and shields. Yeah? But Symmetra and Mei, you play right behind your Reinhardt. And where he goes, you go. And if he backs up, you back up with him. If he pushes in, you push in with him. If you were here with him, this Rein is already dead. Like, I'm trying to remember I think it's 195. So yeah, when Sim is fully charged, you do more damage than 100 charged Zarya. It's like the most damage in the game or something. It's other than like a Bastion. It's insane. You just fucking melt tanks. And so what you're doing, you're behind your Reinhardt, yeah? Anyone he's swinging on, you're melting. Any shield that's going up in your team's way, you're again melting because it reloads your ammo. And then you throw a turret. While you're here, you just drop a turret somewhere behind the Reinhardt because turrets slow people down. Or like, not even behind the Reinhardt, behind whoever your Rein is swinging on. And then they can't get away from him because the turret's slow, lets your Rein just walk right into him and swing. Alright. Let's get back into the Junkrat VOD. Oh yeah, for sure. I just figured, I'm not going to give you like a full VOD review right now, but like, that's a fast enough one to say. That'll just make a massive difference to like, how much value you get on that hero. So, nice bomb. You did die for it though, because like he knew where you were gonna be. You maybe could have walked into here, and that would have been a little bit safer. But also, or since it's a Doomfist you're worried about, there's two ways you can outplay this kid. One, you actually come over here where you know he's going to find you, drop your trap at your feet, and hit your tire. So you do it from this corner. So when because he's a melee hero, he has to hit you physically. So he'll get sucked into your trap and die to your nades. And then at least it's a trade. And then your tire can go get that 3k, and then it's huge. Because then you actually just killed 4 people. The other way you could outplay him, he knows where you're at, yeah? So you hit your tire, you drive it around in a very quick circle, and then you come right back and you blow him up when he comes to kill you. And then you live and he dies and you have a man advantage. You can use yourself as bait with your own tire. And that can actually be a really nice play sometimes.
Nano boost is charging.
My ultimate is charged.
Ryan plays behind Torb when I'm playing Torb on Experiment. He's so scary. I may wall under me just to jump on people with Ice Cube. Nice. Look, the experimental mode is so goddamn fun right now. I wish they would give us more like actual game content and balance changes, but for what it is, I do think it's really fun. So when you're playing against the Doomfist or any kind of dive hero, you really, really extra want to be on the high grounds. So let's just say you're up here. The only way that Doomfist gets to you is by using at least one of his cooldowns. So he has to uppercut up here, yeah, and then If he slams, it's going to be a really short slam because he's not going to have a lot of height, so it won't do a ton of damage. And then all he has left is his punch, which is can be dodged, but also, like, it's his only escape. So either he leaves, or he has to decide he's hard committing for this kill and probably trade. Or maybe trade. It just makes it so much harder for them. And if he does come for you, so he uppercuts up, and you drop off the side. Like, as soon as you see him slam, so you know he can't just slam you on the ground, or the slam start, you drop off the side, try to dodge it if you can. Even if you eat it, it won't be a ton of damage. And now you wasted his cooldowns for free, and you're still with your team, and you're still doing work. Like, whatever you were doing up there, you can probably still do down here. So you were doing shit the whole time, and all the Doomfist did was run around. Effectively. Yeah? You can really fuck up dive teams just by going to a high ground and dropping. And it's a pretty high elo before they get sophisticated enough to outplay that, because it takes multiple people to outplay it well. Cool. Oh, shit. Since you guys are a duo, just a fun thing you could try if you wanted to that can actually really fuck them up. You can send Tyre through TP. Also Diva Bomb. So, since it makes so much noise and they can hear it coming, you could do something like... I'm not saying necessarily this would be the play. I'm just, like, giving you an example. So, like, you wait until they, like, push around this corner, and then drop a TP, like, right behind them, and then the Tyre just suddenly comes out from behind them rather than where they were expecting it. What's your guys' opinion on the film Saving Private Ryan? What? Curly. Alright. I don't know what that's about. Anyway. TP Kai would be hilarious. We were off mic for this one? Gotcha. Yeah. That one is, like, super niche. Usually it's going to be better just for Junkrat to set up behind them and drop the Tyre on their heads. The Diva Bomb, or the TP Bomb, though, like, they did that shit in Owl and got, like, a 3K. Cannot for the life of me remember which teams. Oh, that's what you should be doing with your Tyre. Every time. Every time. You're above them, you drop it on their head. You're behind them, and you blow it up.
I'm on fire! Well, more than you.
I didn't say pulse, I said bomb. Like Diva Bomb. At least I thought I did. Oh man, though, if pulse got TP'd, that could be a huge play too. Oh, I see. I just saw the question about the pulse bomb. Whoops. Yeah, this is so much better. This is so good. And so, like, right now, this is the right idea, but since they're coming back from spawn, I would hold here until I see them. And once you see them and know where their arms are, then you don't need to see them anymore. You can back up and you can start tossing your grenades. Look at that. You already have another Tyre. You literally built a Tyre in a single fight. And you're just raining hell on their heads, and they're ignoring you. And then that drop might have gotten you killed. And kind of wasn't necessary, but like if you're going to do that, you really want to get the mind jump back up. And fun fact about this map. It's way easier to mind jump up there from this side than this side. And if you want to fall off on this side, you kind of got to detonate the mine a little early, like in the air. Yeah. You were doing so much and they were completely ignoring you there. You're still doing a lot, but... Okay, cool. We're back up there. Good. Yeah, he was so unaware of you, I might have waited till I had mine just to make sure I hit that. Huge tire. Because like a better tree might have turned around and flash fanned you before you could get the second grenade. But
You have my thanks. Thank you.
G'day! I'm on fire!
and especially since we have now seen just how strong that angle was for you. And you saw also the Kree go up there. So now I'm worried that he might try to go up there again. And if he does, now he has that strong ass positioning instead of you. So now I would extra want to be up there. In fact, there's the Farah. So I like the spam angle, but as soon as she starts shooting you, you even turn around and you see that she's right here. This is a free pick, my dude. She's low ground in front of you. You don't have to ignore her. You even have a mine. So you 180 and you land the combo. You one-shot her. It's done. And then Mercy's right here to heal you up. And you go right back to doing what you were doing because it was good. Where you were standing less good, but the action was good. Like how you were spamming, bouncing it through the choke like that. Dang.
10 seconds remaining.
He needs a lane. Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, I think I might have just gotten my first troll. I also think they're already gone. Who shows up to somebody's chat says curly-headed fucking leaves? I'm not, like, even upset. I'm just confused and think it's kind of funny.
I've got a mind like a
He needs some milk. If you ever see somebody holding a shield up like that, break it. Absolutely obliterate it. If they don't know any better than to just hold shield in front of a Junkrat, then you destroy that shield so quickly. And then your team doesn't have to deal with a shield. Which is exactly what you're doing. I just want to like reinforce that, hell yeah. Ryan's just going to stand there holding a shield? Fuck yeah, break it. Too many DPS in this game don't shoot shields, and they like wait. Or they move to somewhere else so they can avoid the shield. But like, even while you're moving, shoot the fucking shield. If everyone shoots the shield, they evaporate so fast. Like,
60 seconds remaining.
if you watch like an Owl or Contenders match, look at how long shields live. And yes, those are pro gamers. They're better than any of us. But I don't know about you, I can't miss a shield with any hero in the game. Like, you can't miss a shield. So if all 6 of you are shooting it, your heroes do the same damages. Like, it's still the same heroes, and none of you can miss, so your mechanics don't matter either.
This is not your time. Healing on
Someone better get a fire because I'm on a roll.
Sometimes I think breaking shields is like a free ticket to gold. Or not to gold, to plat. A free ticket out of gold. Yeah. He's just gonna hold it like that rather than leave. Yeah. Orisa broke her shield, and now you back out. Okay. You just did a really, really fucking good, kind of higher level concept, actually, that I wasn't even planning on talking about yet, because, like, you got other shit to worry about first, yeah? But since you're doing it already, I want to point out how fucking good this is. There's this idea of spacing, also known as kiting. You look like the third stepbrother. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, so, if you push up while, like, they're all respawning, yeah? You do some damage. As they start to push in, before they're on top of you, before they can do anything about you, you're already leaving. And then you're spamming some more. And then when they push in some more, you leave some more. And some more. And some more. And if they start retreating, then you push back in. And you're maintaining that distance with them at all times. So you're just constantly shooting them. But they can't ever really get to you. is sort of the goal. Good shit.
Now. Oh, stop it out. It won't be long now. I feel really skeptical.
Fire at will.
Yeah. So again, the reason why no other DPS other than Sim and Mei, who are helping the Rhine out, really want to stand by Rhine, or, you know, right by the main tank, whoever the main tank is, it's because that's who's getting shot. So all of the fire and damage is being directed towards them. So if you're standing grouped up with your team and with your front line, especially since right now you were in front of them again, you get hit with incidental damage. People who don't even mean to kill you do it on accident, because this is just where they were shooting anyway. Versus if you go here, first off, you play a corner, and you don't try to peek too many of them. But like maybe you go, oh, hey, see that? You hide here. Rhine can't do anything. You have to watch out for the Torb, but otherwise you bounce your nades here, and you're getting these folks, yeah? But the big thing about creating a crossfire like this, so first off, there's your Ana and your Mercy. Your team. Like, you have help here. You're not alone. This isn't like you off on a hard flank by yourself. You're still with your team. But anyone on their team who turns to look at you and deal with your grenades is not looking at your team and dealing with them. You as a DPS, and this is kind of your job, you take so much pressure off of your front line. You are instrumental in helping your tanks take space. This is literally what it is. This is the act of taking space. You have your core here, somebody takes a second angle, and now this enemy team has a choice. They look at you, they look at your team, or they back up far enough that this becomes a single angle that they can deal with again. Or they die, I guess, is the other option. But, yeah, so like, you might have a main tank here and an off tank here. It might be a DPS. Typically, you have like a main tank in one spot, an off tank in another spot, and a DPS in a third spot. Like, what if you are here right now, just shooting them in the back? Holy shit. They don't have respawns coming. None of them have died yet. If you are right here, what the fuck do they do? If they decide to chase you down, they're chasing you down fully out of the fight. If you die right now, even if you don't get a trade, like even if you just feed and die, you pull people out of the fight, which leaves them to take an advantage. Like if two people chase you, then they're taking a 5v4, which they will probably win. Not always, you know, it's ranked, but the other thing though about dying right now and like here, their respawns have a hell of a trip. You are right here. There's a little bit of nuance to this because you need to be careful that you don't just feed and die. If you just run into their backline and die, like, way too quickly, then you didn't actually pull any aggro for an amount of time that meant anything, yeah? Shit, what was I saying? God damn it. Oh my god, ADHD, my brain just went blank, my bad. But basically, you have respawn advantage. Anytime where your respawn advantage is this huge, you can, going for trades or super aggressive angles like this, become significantly more strong and significantly less throwing than you would normally think. Because you have that massive respawn advantage, and because this can be such a massive play, yeah? Not just the kills you'll probably get yourself, but also just the attention that you'll draw away from the rest of your team. The counterpoint to this is, if the enemy team has a massive respawn advantage, like you're attacking 2 CP, then you taking risky angles and dying for them is bad. Like, getting trades always favors the team with close respawns. So, like, fragging is more important than living right now. In the opposite situation, living would be more important than you actually getting a kill. Where the hell did my mouse go? Yo, I'm moving this around, but I don't actually see my mouse. The fuck? There it is. And now it's gone again. Why did I sell my mouse? The fuck? There we go.
10 seconds.
Justice reigns from above.
Interesting fire choice, but like, good kill. And then like here, on the one hand, you are kind of doing exactly what I just suggested you do. On the other hand, in this particular case, I might suggest coming over here instead because of this nice spam angle that's just so strong. And then coming to a high ground here. Or, like, since you got kind of pushed to this corner, you mind jump onto this. And then from here, you're just rain hell on their heads. You could even bounce grenades off the cart here right into people. Ryan plus Risa versus Zardiva, love to see it. Yeah. Oh, I guess that's another thing to consider.
Complete.
They have 2 hefty shields. Your team has none, which doesn't actually matter as much as a lot of people seem to think it does. Fuck shields. Shields are way overrated. But, it is now extra important for you to break their shields. Because if you break their shields, then y'all are even, except you're not even, because the tanks that don't have shields have other things that make them strong instead. So you just ruin what they got, and you still have your shit, if that makes sense.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, you don't always want... Yep, you don't always want to tunnel on shooting shields and tanks, obviously, but you can really give the enemy front line some fucking hell if they don't know how to walk into a Junkrat. And Ryan's in this elo, and for quite some time, don't know how to walk into a Junkrat. Sad but true, you can kind of just wreck tanks and carry games that way for kind of a while. And not saying necessarily that you should, but if you, let's say in the Rhine v Rhine, and your Rhine is just getting diffed by theirs, shit happens, yeah? You give your Rhine an insane advantage by breaking the other Rhine's shield. Yeah? Stop spamming, I need healing. They didn't help, they were toxic in team chat. Aw. Kind of like this. I meant to say this on the last attack, and I think I got sidetracked. Or, I should say, last defense, I mean. So I had talked on your attack about, you know, how hard this choke is. If there's a cart in it, there's like 2 little gaps and like a little air gap above the cart, and that's all the space they have to move through. And you do AoE damage. You can stuff the hell out of this choke and just make it impossible for them to walk in. it takes a little bit of help. Because, like, they have 2 shields, so you probably couldn't just stuff this all by yourself. But if you... See, the problem is, the 2 of you could shoot down that choke. Ana could, but, like, your tanks can't really do much, and Mercy hopefully is damage boosting one of you two, but probably isn't. More healing at 76 than the Ana. You know, Tupac lives with Drake? Uh-huh. Oh. So you can't duel the Widow, but use good AD movement. Like, use random movement. There's this thing in, like, music and, like, drumming or tap dancing even, called paradiddles, which is like left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. And that pattern will become predictable, but after kind of a little bit. And if you can make it more random than that, then that's great. I struggle with, like, true random movement while still trying to think about other things, so I default to a paradiddle pattern. It's not the best, but it's better than just 80, 80, 80, 80. But even just 80, 80, 80 helps a lot there. And this Widow probably doesn't hit those shots.
Ah, cheers.
Tim Hortons, what are you, Canadian?
Enemy turret ahead.
Need healing.
Tactical visor activated.
So while yes, you want to break the turret, you don't have to take as much damage doing it, because you don't have to, like, your grenades bounce. You just have to find an angle to bounce the grenades onto the cart, or, like, hell, even wait a little bit. Wait until it's closer so the Torp can't just throw out a new one. Cool though, good tire.
Score 4.
Calculated trap kill.
Switching sides.
We're Canadian. Oh no.
5, 4, 3.
It's okay. I'm American. That's even worse. But at least we aren't British.
Need healing.
So at this point, I'm just kind of like looking to see if there's anything new that I think we should talk about. But mostly there isn't going to be a lot of new stuff probably until you fix the positioning first, because, like, all of the nuance and all of the, like, big brain shit that can go into how you take these angles,
Rise and shine. See ya.
it's hard to talk about when they don't exist. Canada is a lie made by Grant Frost to promote more snow. I've been to Montreal. True. Yeah, again, just bounce grenades. You don't need to be on this cart. You don't want to be on this cart.
Regen burst active.
Meanwhile, could mine jump onto here? Boom. Or sneak up here because they're holding so goddamn close. Boom. Get a one-shot off. Hell. Mine jump up to here, and now you're defending again. And the thing about this game is defense is stronger than attack. Straight up. Which is why, like, 2CP, for example, you usually have to attack a given point a couple of times and win with ultimates, right? There's only a few games where you can just walk in and win the point the very first try. And it's not how it typically goes. Because it's easier to defend. So, take the defensive position because they're in the wrong spot, and use it to your advantage. Base not toxic is toxic to British people. 100 bits. Thanks so much for the 100 bits. But yeah, you are doing what is commonly known as running it down mid.
How do you do?
And honestly, we all run it down mid from time to time. I still catch myself, like, going on autopilot and running it down mid. So just, check in with yourself. Anytime things don't feel like they're working, you feel like you or your team are struggling, am I just running it down mid? Am I going down the middle? Because that's rarely the answer. That's rarely where you want to be. Am I running down mid? Yep. That's what I say. You are... I think I talked about this earlier, but
Cease your
I'll
resistance.
do this again just because it's kind of big. This spot gets a little bit funky, but this game is built around lanes, and usually there's 3. Sometimes there's 4, sometimes there's 2, but usually there's 3. Sometimes you get lanes intersecting lanes, like this, whatever. But typically you can think of left, middle, and right. So running it down mid is literally taking the middle lane on any given part of the map, which is also the cart path is always going to be the middle lane. Yeah, like, for example, Havana third point is really weird because it kind of has 1 lane, then 2 lanes, then... Or it has, like, 3, then 2, then 1. Like, it gets kind of bad, actually. But most of the maps, it was an intentional design choice. Like, tons of games are built around this 3-lane concept. God damn it, Zeta now has me self-conscious of saying the phrase 3-lane concept. Anyway... Beautiful tire. Other than, like, the first 2 that you didn't really get anything out of, every other tire has been really good. It's honestly the best part of your play. That was my answer to my Tracer plays too. Oh yeah, Tracer especially wants to live on the outside of the fight.
Seconds remaining.
If at first you don't succeed, need healing.
Wait. Can you mind jump on the high ground? Sorry, Roll, I just saw that. I'm not sure which high ground, but probably. Sometimes there's like 2 spots on here that you would need to double mind jump, but otherwise a single mine will do it. Nice bomb. Yeah. I think the reason you have found success with the way you are playing, like the success that you found, has been because you are just absolutely mowing down the enemy front line, and in that way, making things way easier for your front line. That's the nice part about what you're doing. The bad part about what you're doing is you're too close, so you die more than you need to, and you would still be helping them just as much standing right here as standing right here, as one example. The other is, while sometimes, fuck yeah, chunk down tanks, shoot shields, like, sometimes this is legit to play. If you have the opportunity to kill someone, anyone, like a squishy whatever, that wins the fight. It's more value, it's more powerful than just giving your front line an advantage. You're giving your whole team an advantage because now you're taking a 6v5 if you live for it, yeah? So, low but consistent value, high but risky value. And you need to be doing both of those. And the ratio is going to vary from game to game, and also, like, your own skills and experience. I will say, I think it's a really good thing to take, like, a game or two, like, every 500 SR or so as you're climbing, to limit test, and to,
That's a good spot.
even when you know it is bad, I want you to take a single game, maybe two, where you say fuck it to your SR, and you hard flank non-stop. Leave voice if you got it, you're gonna get flamed. It might actually work. Honestly, you might still win, but just be like fucking everywhere and try things. Just try as many different things as you can think of. Try different targets, try different places to come from, different timings, different angles, and you build up this library in your head of what works and what doesn't. And once that library is big enough, you can apply it to all kinds of other situations, and then you just always know what to do and where to be, and you're super powerful. And more importantly, you know what you can get away with and what you can't. So then the next game, when you're actually trying to win, you're like, all right, I'm just going to chill with my tanks right now, Oh, hey, I see this thing similar to that other thing I got away with. I'm going to go try that. Boom. Oh, hey, I got a frag. Now I'm carrying. And then, you know, you go back to playing safe and chill, and you just take occasional opportunities as you find them. But the idea behind, like, just spending an entire game where it's the only thing you do is it's concentrated practice. It gives you just a whole bunch of different attempts. Because in the beginning, the first, like, I don't know, ton of attempts that you do, they're gonna be bad. It takes experience. Like, you're gonna feed a lot, you're going to just completely fail to get kills a lot, and then you're gonna get better. And better and better and better, and then you're gonna hard frag.
The payload is approaching its destination.
He's alive! He's alive!
Going fast, yep.
I've never called myself a revolution. Thanks, lad.
And you win, cool. It was looking a little dicey at the end there. Or wait, no, sorry, they won, didn't they? So let me know if you have any questions, but to summarize, I think the most, like, what I would prioritize for you, things to work on, is specifically positioning. So every time you die, you don't have to, like, tunnel on this super hard, but you got 10 seconds to respawn, yeah? So during those 10 seconds, just think about that death and think about where else you could have been that would have been better, yeah? Would have been safer, would have allowed you to do the same thing, or would have allowed you to do something different but still value and not get you killed, you know? Whatever. And then when you're back in the game, you get your head back in the game. But just putting that thought into each of your deaths and trying to minimize them is one of the most consistent ways to carry out of low elo, just living more. Because if you think about it, every time you die, it's 10 seconds to respawn, plus 10 to 20 more seconds to get back to the fight. If you leave, go get a health pack because your healers aren't healing you, and then come back to the fight, you lost 5 or 10 seconds. That's still more. You are still doing more than if you stayed in and died, yeah? So, not that it's always possible, but have this goal of never ever dying, but playing at the absolute edge of the value you can get without dying. You're doing the absolute most you can up to the things that get you killed, and those you don't do, usually. Like I said, there's some nuance to that, like I talked about earlier, where if you have a massive spawn advantage, going for trades is actually good, or can be fine. But yeah, live first. Second, limit test your off angles. And third, try not to get suctioned into the fight. It's like the most common problem in the universe. Everyone does this. It's like, the analogy I thought of recently, if you think of football, for people who aren't American, if you watch like 5-6-year-olds playing soccer, it's fucking adorable. It's a lot of fun. Like, they're having a great time, but it's just a blob moving around the field. They're just all together and it's a hot mess, yeah? They aren't playing well. But if you watch pros playing, They don't all need to go to the ball, yeah? You got one person on the ball doing the thing, and everyone else is supporting them. They're being where they need to be, so they can either get that ball passed to them, so they can go block somebody else, like whatever it is they need to do. They're there to support the person who has the ball. You're there to support the person who is on the cart or contesting point or whatever. Like, versus like having to be there yourself. Now, if it's like a somebody has to touch or we're going to lose or lose the point situation, whatever, then yeah, obviously there's nuance to that. But back up, watch your deaths, limit test your off angles, and try to off angle more. Off angle as much as you feel you can get away with. But yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know. And if you ever want to drop another VOD, like, I am into it. I love seeing how people grow and develop.